Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun little Easter freebie for you, and so down below in the description box you can find the link to this pattern where you can download, print it, and then follow along with these stitching steps, and you will have your own Easter hoop ready for display. So let's go ahead and jump right in. In this pattern, I did just want to let you know that I do a bit of color mixing, and so that's when I take a couple strands of one DMC color and combine it with some threads of a different DMC color to create like a combination color. So the first color combination we have here is 5 strands DMC 3863 plus 1 strand DMC 712, and this will create a 6-strand color combo. And with that combo here, I am beginning to basket weave stitch, and I'm also only using this color combo for the base of the basket weave. So whenever I begin to actually weave these stitches, I'm going to switch to a different color combo, which you'll see here in a minute. If at any time during this video you're unfamiliar with a stitch, you can click on the little link above that will pop up on the screen when the stitches start, and you can click on those and that will show you a full tutorial on how to make that stitch. Now that my base layer is complete, I'm going to begin weaving with the basket stitch. So I'm just simply going up and over, under and over, under and over, back and forth with this basket. And here I'm using 3 strands of DMC 3863 plus 2 strands DMC 712 plus 1 strand DMC 801 to create a 6-strand color combo. And I chose to mix so many colors just because I wanted to create more of an interesting basket and not just be one color. So that's one thing I really love about hand embroidery, is how you can kind of mix the colors and make your own unique color. Once you make your way up to the top of this basket with a little hole in it, I'm just simply going to do the basket weave stitch on the left side, and I'm going to do, I think I did 3 rows here, and then I'm simply going to move to the right side to even that out and make 3 more rows and then complete the top. Making the last few rows of the basket weave stitch can be a bit tricky as things get pretty tight, but here I'm just doing my best to completely fill in the rest of the rows, and you can kind of watch me struggle a little bit with that, but I just do my best to squeeze them in, and I find that it's helpful if I try and kind of push my needle a bit under the already woven part, as there's a bit more room in there. You also want to be really careful with these last few rows to not jab yourself with the needle, because there is a bit more force in there, and so just be cautious because I might have done a little bit of jabbing. Now that the basket is all woven, I'm simply taking 2 strands of DMC 3863 and I am stem stitching around the whole border of the basket, and this includes that little rectangular hole in the middle, and it also includes the 2 handles. You might also know this stitch as the outline stitch, and so here I truly am just outlining the entire thing to clean it up a bit. For this tiny tree trunk and the branches, I'm using the whipped back stitch. If you're not a fan of the whipped back stitch, you could also totally continue with that stem stitch, as I think they pretty much achieve the same look. They're just done a little bit differently. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of the whipped back stitch. Something about it is just so like fun and satisfying, and so I'm just going to do that all the way throughout the trunk and throughout the branches. Now that I'm ready to stitch my leaves, I'm going to be using 3 strands of DMC 3011 and using the Lazy Daisy stitch. Now when I'm stitching these, I'm not going to fill in all the tree leaves. I'm actually going to leave a few open spaces for a different mixed color just to add some interest to this tree. Now that I've finished stitching with the singular color, I'm going to add a color combo here. So I'm using 1 strand DMC 3011 and combining that with 2 strands DMC 712 just to add a bit more variety and different colors to this tree. Now that all the tree leaves are stitched, I'm adding some hanging Easter eggs, and here on the left of the screen you can see the different colors I used. So I used 4 different DMC colors, and then I kind of just randomly picked eggs to color them, so you can choose whichever ones you prefer. When I stitched these Easter eggs, I wanted to give them a bit more of a 3D effect. So here you can see I'm kind of making like a little snowflake shape or like an asterisk here to kind of make it so that whenever I satin stitch over top of this, it will force those satin stitches to kind of lay higher in the middle and then lower on the two ends. And so I think that this helps create a bit more of a 3D Easter egg effect, and I think that was just like a little fun addition to this pattern. So it does add a little bit of extra stitching time to these Easter eggs, but I think it's worth it and creates a lovely turnout. As I'm stitching up this last little Easter egg, I did just want to ask you, if you did enjoy this video and this pattern, would you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below, as it does help my channel and kind of helps me spread my reach. And if you're on the lookout for more fun embroidery patterns or other embroidery content, feel free to stick around and subscribe to be notified for future videos. If you have stitched up this pattern, feel free to tag me on Instagram at St. Rogers Street, and I would love to see your finished pattern and perhaps even feature it on my page. Thank you guys so much for stitching with me. I so hope you enjoyed this project, and I really hope you have a happy Easter. Until next time, my friends, happy stitching!